Hello, everyone. This is another Freedom to Feel conversation, and my guest today is Ulrich Dempfle. Hopefully, I got that right. He's the CEO and co-founder of Caro Bike. He utilized his background in mechanical engineering and teamed up with the leading exercise researchers to develop and launch the world's first and only reduced exertion high-intensity interval training indoor cycling smart bike called the Caro Bike. I love the name. It's feminine. That's one thing that caught my attention immediately. But I do know that there is, it means something. So each letter means something technical, actually, that I'll be asking you in a moment. I also want to mention that you co-founded Caro Bike to make optimal health and fitness easier and more accessible for everyone. So that's really wonderful to know too. Accessible. So this is my brief intro to you, Ulrich. But my first question is the one that I mentioned off record. If you were to introduce yourself in your own words to answer that question of who you are, what would you say?
Yeah. So I am very much also defined by what we do. At Caro Bike, we're very mission driven. We don't just see this as a 9-to-5 job, but really because we want to help people and shift the needle on what is really a global inactivity epidemic. So one side of me is certainly defined as the CEO and co-founder of Caro Bike. This has been so long with me. Yeah. I live this every day. This is part of myself. Yeah. And the other big thing is around family and my children. I've got 3 sons. Very, very important in my life. I have a very close relationship with them. I find having children is a great source of meaning and joy. So outside work, I try to spend as much time as possible with them. So I think these are the 2 main roles. And then there are other roles in terms of trying to enjoy life. But the things that really give me meaning, I guess, is family and children and my mission here at Caro to make a dent in and help people live healthier lives.
Yeah. The other question I have for you that you're already familiar with is this idea of being healthy. How would you describe that? What is to be a healthy person from your perspective?
Yeah. So there's obviously, as you mentioned, there's a holistic view of that, and it is mind, body, soul, if you want, that have to be healthy and in harmony. We approach this, and my mission, our mission, starts very much from a physical health perspective. And it is really important. And as you said, it is very connected. And I do think that, and there's actually excellent data on that being in good physical health very much also improves mental health. And so that there's a very strong connection. And certainly, if you ask me, what do you have to do to be healthy? I think there I have very clear views that, yes, exercise is super important, possibly the most important. I think sleep is extremely important, is probably on par with exercise being a little bit more long-term. And sleep is like really immediate. Like you can, if you like one bad night of sleep, you feel it the next day. And then nutrition, of course, what you eat, how should I put this? Yeah. What you eat has a great influence on how you feel and who you are. I think those are really my big three. If you get those right, exercise, sleep, nutrition, you're doing a lot towards being a healthy person. Then finding something like a profession, a mission that gives you meaning in life, having good social connections, having friends, having healthy relationships. So there's many things that build it up and that create that healthy state. And we try to help people with that first one, to get exercise and get a healthy body and try to maintain a healthy body as a critical factor in that overall picture.
Right. Yes. And that has been my experience. I used to be a personal trainer and a competitor, fitness competitor, and I was really trying so hard to be healthy. I was eating everything, just researching so much, all the scientific latest everything, and exercising every day to the max almost, sleeping right as well. But I still had not experienced the sense of peace or joy. Happiness was not present. And I was just wondering, like, what would take for us humans to become, something that is, that's more than just the body and, the mind's understanding of what health is. And for me, it has been spirituality. And it's something that I always mention here.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And we try to, play our part to help people with one piece of the puzzle, and a really important piece of the puzzle that fits in. But you're right. There's many more.
Yes, layers and layers, right? So going back to Cara Bike again, I love the name. Was it the inspiration for the name to come up with something that was more feminine? I'm just wondering because I resonate with it.
Yeah. So I can tell you. So it stands for cardiovascular, so CAR, optimization logic. And we had thought of it as the name for our AI algorithms that personalize and optimize the exercise that you do on a Cara bike for each individual. It's a little bit nerdy, playful take on how to call our product. That's what we came up with, and it stuck. And so that's our name. As many things in life, sometimes things just happen, and then they're right, and you keep them. But it stands for that, for cardiovascular optimization logic, as the name for our AI persona that helps you get the best workout.
Right. So that's good to know. And I didn't know about it, and I was reading, and then I found out, I came across what it stands for. So again, the first impression I had as a woman was, it's feminine. And, that's wonderful. It resonates immediately with women.
Yeah. And we have very many women using our bikes. It's very clearly not just a bike for men. It's very balanced. We have actually about 50% of our riders, of our users are women, 50% are men. Is very balanced, and very clearly it's for both, it's for everybody. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I love that too. So going back to the inspiration, I don't know how technical I can get asking you questions about the bike, but I would like to ask.
Anything.
Oh yeah, I'll try. But I want to ask you a question about the inspiration. I read that you watched a BBC documentary on Reduced Exertion, the HIIT, which everybody knows. But the Cara bike was designed actually to do something that no bike can do, which is Rehit, Rehit. So talk to me for a moment about that.
Yes. So maybe by way of background. So at the time, we've been working. So I'm a mechanical engineer, but most of my life I've worked with hospitals, with healthcare systems to make patient care better, more effective. And the number one thing you can do for that is prevention. And we did very advanced things there, like training AI models to see which patients would benefit from which interventions, and then try to intervene early to keep people healthy or as healthy as possible.
Right.
Now, despite all the advanced analytics that we've used, the number one thing for most patients is exercise. It's just such a fundamental thing that is such a powerful intervention for most people. Now, the sad thing, and this is a massive mismatch between how important it is and how many people are actually doing it. So it's the statistics are shocking. Like 95% of Americans don't do enough exercise. And if you ask why, and this is every scientific survey shows that, it's lack of time. So we're by now so busy with so many, different offers competing for our time that time becomes the main perceived barrier. And so we found it very difficult to get patients to exercise. And then in 2012, we saw a documentary on the BBC that showcased the science of Rehit, so reduced exertion high intensity interval training. And it showcased how you could get a highly effective, highly efficient workout in very, very little time, like even as short as 5 minutes with only 2 20-second sprints. So you work only hard for 2 20-second sprints and you get amazing fitness and health benefits from it. And it would be so easy that most people don't even sweat. Mm-hmm. So that was the promise showcased on that program. And for me, it was absolutely love on first sight. Like it really clicked as well as like, I want to do this, not just for that we thought, oh, this could be something for our patients, but I personally wanted to do this. And so the very next day, I went out and bought to a fitness equipment store, bought myself an exercise bike, and I had paid close attention. I'm a mechanical engineer. I kind of thought, yeah, this is the best, most suitable bike for it. And I tried it at home and it was nothing like what was showcased on the program. So it was very disappointing. It was a very unpleasant experience. I sweated loads. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Yeah. And then we called the scientists that were on that program and asked, well, what are we doing wrong? And the very first thing they said was, well, you need a special bike. And they invited us to their lab and we saw the equipment. It was kind of fairly expensive lab equipment. It was between like $10,000, $15,000 and it was operated by a second person. So you had a lab technician who operated the bike for you and who coached you through the workout. And when I tried that worked. It was a very pleasant experience. It was doable. I didn't sweat loads. So it worked. Yes. And they had the data to back it up. It was just really not practical because who has a lab technician next to them? No? And who has a $10,000 kind of highly specialized research bike? Right. And then we thought, well, if it doesn't exist, if there's brilliant science, but just no practical application, why don't we try to develop a bike that is fully automated with AI algorithms to basically do all the things that the lab technician would do for you, and that coaches you through the workout, and that makes kind of these very, very efficient workouts accessible for a broad audience, because that's really what we wanted. We wanted to shift the needle, because it's just, there is this inactivity epidemic and people don't have enough time. And so we really felt there is a need for very short, very efficient exercise that can help people have this much better cardiorespiratory fitness and metabolic health that you can gain from these Rehit workouts.
Right. Gosh, you said a lot there. So for those who are watching this and all they want is to improve their health, this is perfect. It sounds to me as well. The part of sweating, I was just wondering, because I don't mind sweating because I know we release toxins, right, Ulrich? So I don't really mind sweating. But But some people do, right? I noticed that some people do. But you just mentioned that it could be a 5-minute workout a day. And that is there a scientific backing for that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is we've not. So we're building on years and by now decades of scientific research, and in fact, we're working with the leading researchers globally in that field that now do some of their research with our bikes because it's just more convenient. They don't need a lab technician next to it. No, so there's very good science on this, that basically it is possible to trade off time with intensity. So when I say 5-minute workout, you have you literally just work hard for 2 20-second periods. So 2 20-second sprints, and the rest is very, very casual. Now, in those 2 20-second sprints, you go really all out. You push to your limits, and momentarily, it's like a fight or flight situation, like an emergency situation. Yeah. And that triggers a series of, biological pathways, and triggers the release of certain signaling molecules that would take 45 to 60 minutes of endurance exercise, of moderate intensity exercise, but you can trigger the same signaling molecules, the same things that tell your body that it has to get fitter and stronger, with just 2 20-second sprints if you really push to your limits. Now, it's when you do that, you will definitely feel like you've done a good workout. So your heart rate shoots up, you breathe heavily, but it's so short that it is actually doable. And we have now 30,000 riders. We have many, many riders who manage to make really a sustainable habit. They can stick to a routine out of this. That, yes, it does work. I know it, but there's great research behind it, with reasonably well understood what really happens there. So what triggers this adaptation pathway, and why is it so much more efficient than other types of exercise?
Yeah. So what is the main difference between HIIT and Rehit?
Yes. So many people will be familiar with high intensity interval training, and it's very established type of workout. It's clearly effective. You would do, it depends on the program, 4, 5, 6, 10 intervals that can be 30, 40, 1 minute, even up to 4 minutes of higher intensity exercise. And then in between, you have recovery periods. Right. Now, HIIT in itself, like a HIIT workout, is often still 20, 30 minutes. So while it's maybe shorter than like moderate intensity workout, it's still, there's more time required. And the perceived exertion is very high. So many people find it very hard and hard to adhere to. Now, Rehit is basically HIIT taken to the next level. And the intervals are reduced to the absolute minimum that has been scientifically proven to be effective. And you are able to get away with just 2 20-second sprints, because you really push not just to high intensity, but you push to maximum intensity. So on our bike, that's simple to do, and it's safe to do because it's been designed to ensure that. But so in those 2 20-second sprints, you really push to your limits. Now, the first 10 seconds are relatively easy. Then the next 5 seconds are harder, and the last 5 seconds are quite hard. But psychologically, kind of how you feel about it, because it is so short, I and many of our users find it just then easy to push through. And for that short moment, they're able to push to your limits, and therefore, telling your body that it has to get fitter and stronger.
Right. Does the bike have any way of monitoring the level of intensity?
The bike tracks a rich basket of metrics, of performance metrics, and you can see your progress. So you have your peak power, your total power. You have you get with each ride how many calories you burned, and importantly, you get our fitness score, which is a measure of your cardiorespiratory fitness, and has been designed to track closely your VO2 max, so your ability to burn oxygen, VO2 max. Yeah, so it's your ability to burn oxygen, and that I think people should really appreciate is by far the most important physical health marker and the strongest predictor of life expectancy. So no other physical marker has greater predictive power for your life expectancy. And it is one that you can actually really readily influence and improve. So you can make a big difference in a very short period of time through doing the right exercise. And so there's one little like statistic or fact that always blows my mind, that low cardiorespiratory fitness, so low VO2 max, leads to more avoidable deaths than smoking, diabetes, and obesity combined.
Wow.
Smoking, diabetes, and obesity combined. So it's that important. And with the right type of exercise, like Rehit on a Carol bike, you can very substantially improve your VO2 max with minimal time. So these 5 minutes, you only have to do them 3 times per week. You don't even have to do them every day to get a very substantial improvement. So, for example, and this is quite common across the scientific studies, that in just 8 weeks, with something like 20 minutes time commitment per week, you can improve your VO2 max, your cardiorespiratory fitness, by 12%. Now that's significant. Like, as you age, you lose about 10% of cardiorespiratory fitness per decade. So that means in only 8 weeks, you could dial back your cardiorespiratory fitness by more than a decade. And that is something, you feel that. Yeah. So it's wonderful to have the metrics to be able to track it. And many people like that. It gives it like a little, almost like a gaming character if you try to beat your score and so on.
Yeah.
But really, you feel it. It's very noticeable. It's not subtle at all. You will feel fitter and stronger. You climbing up the stairs will be easier. So it is really something you can feel very, very quickly.
For some reason, if you don't mind, because of you mentioned death, so if you don't mind, I'll just ask you a philosophical question. What is your relationship with death? What is your understanding of what that is?
The honest answer is I don't know, but I'm also not afraid of it. I find my life has enough meaning and is full enough that, to be honest, whatever will be, and I'm definitely not. So I enjoy being here.
Yeah.
And try to make most of it. But on the other hand, I find the concept of death also not very scary, if that makes sense. Something will be there. What it is, I don't know.
Wow, I love your answer. Yes, not afraid of death. That's a big one. So going back to the topic, thank you for being open to these questions in between.
That's all right.
So can anyone ride the Carol bike regarding pounds? Like if you're 200 pounds or 300, what is the max?
It's up to 350 pounds. So yes, it's also for people who may have who may want to work on their weight. Even though I do like to say that and it goes back to the previous fact that I said, if people think about exercise, they often think, oh, I should lose some weight, I should exercise. And that is the motivation. And you really gain so much more. And in fact, for weight management, my belief is exercise supports and good metabolic health makes it much, much easier to manage weight. But nutrition is obviously the number one thing you have to be mindful of. Exercise alone cannot fix bad nutrition. That's just impossible. In terms of otherwise, who can use it? We have so there's not really a lower age limit. You just have to be tall enough, and there's also no necessarily upper age limit. So we have users from 10, 11 years old up to like into their 80s. So my mom is 81, and she very religiously uses our bike every other day because she has some mobility issues. She doesn't walk that well anymore, and so she loved hiking all her life. But that is more difficult for her now. But she can cycle because using an exercise bike is kind of, there's no high impacts and it's very safe. And that's one way for her to keep her fitness up. And then she texts me always every other day her scores, and it's a great way for her to stay fit.
Yes. So I want to mention some of the information that I found on your website about Cara Bike. So it's AI personalization. So it makes it suitable for any age and fitness level. That's one you just mentioned. Any age. So no limitations really, some here and there. You offer a 100-day trial. That's really great. Talk to me about that.
So we have to people have to overcome certain established beliefs they held that exercise more is better, and generally it's true. The more you work out, the more benefits you get. With Rehit, that's actually not the case. So there's some great science that shows that Rehit is one of the only ones where kind of 220-second sprints deliver the optimal results. And if you had like more sprints or longer sprints, you don't only get not more benefits, you actually get less benefits, which that's really hard to understand. There is a hypothesis for it. So this is a new concept. People have to get used to it. And there's a lot of research on our website. There's all the original papers are cited. But we understand, like you need to get used to it. We also don't work, and you need to basically start believing, and usually trying is believing. But we don't operate with showrooms. You can buy the bike from our web store, and then we just have a very I think industry-leading kind of risk-free trial. So you purchase the bike, and then you have 100 days to see whether you like it, whether it's effective for you, whether you see the benefits, and whether you can stick to it. That's like super important. And if it's not, then you can also return it. We pick it up, and you get a full refund. And we can do that because we know that the vast majority of people love it, and then are able to like see the benefits and stick to it. So that's what we offer.
Yes. I love your mission though. Yeah. I'm listening to you here and, kind of also listening to that intention, the reason to be doing this, to help others to live healthier lives in a sense of being happier. I always connect happiness to health. For some reason, right, when the body's healthy, it's so much easier to be happy. That's not something that I hold on to all the time because of my spiritual system and knowledge, but it's so real at that level. So I also want to mention the fitness advisors. So we purchase the bike and then we call the advisors. How does it work?
So there's 2 stages where you're very welcome to talk with our fitness advisors. So that's they have like MSCs in exercise physiology, exercise science, And so one is, if you're thinking about getting a bike, you're very welcome to schedule a call and get a consultation, get advice whether this is right for you. Maybe you have some questions, some concerns, and you can get like really one-to-one advice from a very competent person. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is everybody who then decided, yes, I want to try this, I want to purchase it, we encourage everybody to have, once they got their bike, an onboarding session with our fitness advisors. So you're getting off to a good start. You know exactly how to use it. You know what programs to do. And you're just familiar and comfortable. It's a very simple product. Right. Honestly, the workout, you're being coached through, your optimal resistance is applied at the optimal time, at the optimal pace. So there's no button to turn. In some ways, you just have to, push when Carol tells you to push. But nevertheless, there's to get off to a good start. It's great to have that additional advice and guidance from someone in our team to help you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then also free delivery. That's really great. The annual percentage rate, it's 0. So that's the finance, and that's great. Yeah. Yeah. And then, just good news. And then the bike, the retail price is $2,595. Is this accurate?
Yes, that is right. That's right. It's a, maybe just to mention that. So the bike, because you go all out when you do these Rehit sprints, and we've said this for any age and fitness level. So we have like really big athletes who do that as well. And the bike is built and specified for commercial use. So this is used in gyms where it gets like 5,000 rides per year and more. And it's really a very heavy duty, very robust bike to be able to withstand those forces, and just to give you, joy and good health and good workouts for a long time.
Right. So it won't break easily.
Oh, it's very robust.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What about the maintenance? If something happens, then is there a warranty, a year or 6 months?
So we have warranty that covers 5 years on the frame and 1 year on the components, like the moving parts. In terms of really warranty, maintenance, there's, so we have a schedule that it's good to check occasionally the bolts and so on, but it's a very low maintenance, product. There's no friction parts or so. It's like with magnetic resistance. It's very, very quiet. So it's very smooth and quiet. Mm-hmm. So, a minimum of maintenance.
So minimal. Wonderful. It's available. It's already being used in gyms, so that's great to know. Health clubs. Is that in the United States or Europe, Ulrich? Do you have it here too?
I'm based in London, but really our main market is the US. We probably 85% of our customers are in the US, and so we're not in big box studios. We're not in Planet Fitness. We're in specialized performance studios, biohacking facilities, some kind of alternative health or like physio clinics, chiropractors. So in generally in spaces where you have a defined program, rather than just a bunch of machines and you're at your own. That's where you find us.
Yes. So the question about where it's available. So it's carolbike.com. That's where the bike is available now. It can be purchased there. And will it be available on Amazon, or it is available? I mean, for some reason, I am always buying on Amazon. So I'm speaking for a bunch of people too.
Yes. So no, we sell directly through our web store, and that works very well for us. So Yeah, it's our own web store. That's the only source. Yes.
Yeah. So we're almost at the end. And I hope I have asked you some technical questions. I'm not technical. I know this is very scientific and technical, and you being a mechanical engineer, gosh, I know how far you could go with somebody who understands these things. So is there anything else that you left unsaid about Carol Bike for the questions I didn't ask?
Maybe there's a couple of snippets of that I think are really important. So one thing, yes, you can gain really a lot in terms of cardiorespiratory fitness, in terms of metabolic health, in a really short amount of time. So within a matter of weeks, you can make big differences that would help you increase your life expectancy, your lifespan, your health span. But here's the thing. So exercise is really like nutrition. It's like a diet in some ways. Yeah. If you make a change to your nutrition, if you're on a diet, you can lose some weight. But if you stop, most people also put it back on. And exercise, unfortunately, is the same. So if you gain fitness quite quickly, but if you stop, if you don't stick to it, you lose it pretty much just as fast.
So true.
And that means you really have to have something that fits into your life every day or every other day, and that you can stick to, and that you can make like a healthy routine, a healthy habit out of. And that's why we think, and I think that's the power of Carol Bike and the power of Rehit, that it is actually something that fits into your life. And you don't depend on having celebrity instructors or banging music and then finding time for an hour workout. No, it's actually something that fits into your life, whatever happens.
Right. Thank you so much, Ulrich, for everything that you're doing in this world. I know it's a beautiful mission. I just love anything that has to do with the empowerment of individuals, so we can find our own way of being healthy, happier, at peace. I mean, I just can't help it. That's why I host this podcast. It's just different tools for different people, but this is kind of a universal one in a sense, isn't it? When it comes to physical health and mental health.
Exactly. And it's one important piece of the puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much again for your presence in our reality. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us and for your podcast and talking about those things.
Yeah. Thank you for saying yes. Before we say goodbye for today, I do want to ask you another philosophical, it's not really a philosophical question, but it's a question that for some reason I would love to end with this question. How do you define success these days? What is success to you?
Making a difference, making a difference to people's lives, making a difference to our world, leaving it a little bit better than you found it. I think that's, one can do many things. Some have, and many things have meaning if once you think about it carefully, but making a difference to people's life, I think that is that's what I would like to achieve and what makes me feel successful.
Yes, and maybe not. That's why you're not afraid of death, because you have done that. You've been doing that. There's something about peace of mind, fulfillment, right? That sense of fulfillment in knowing that you have done or you're doing what you're here to do. So again, the website's carolbike.com, and you are also on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. So I have all the links here.
And there's the Carol Bike is the handle across all platforms. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much again, Ulrich, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you so much.